Twyla. Twyla. You know,
Peonies as far as the eye can see.
I was gonna say, look at this.
I know.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
As you hold your new peony in your hands, it's only natural to want to get them off to a great start and to help them flourish over the seasons. Here are some tips.
So, some people plant their peonies too deep in the hole. And what happens with peonies is they like to be in that 2 to 3 inch kind of area underneath the soil. If they're planted deeper, they'll send out a lot of green shoots. But for some reason that is very unknown to a lot of professional growers and home gardeners, is they don't know why, but they like that perfect zone. So it's about 2 inches from the top of the soil to the first bud of the peony is where they love to be. So if you lift your peony up a little bit, then chances are it's going to be in that right area and just give you as many blooms as you possibly can imagine. A lot of people are actually afraid to divide a peony that they've had in their yard for, 20, 30 years. They want to share it with someone, but it's growing so well kind of thing, and they don't want to touch it. Well, nix that. The best thing that you can do for a peony that's been in place for a long time is actually divide it. Because what will happen, it brings back vigor into that plant, because the bush itself has utilized all the nutrients and everything around itself and is feeding off the root. And all the energy is coming from the root system. Now, when you actually divide it and you move it to a new location, it builds a completely new root system, and it brings back vigor, and it's actually getting nutrients from that location where you actually moved it. So the best thing you can do for an old peony, sometimes they're not blooming as great as they used to be, or maybe it's in the wrong location, is actually dividing. And the best time to divide any peony is in the fall, when the plant is actually gone dormant. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's interesting actually why there's so many large peonies that are old varieties. Do you know why? No. It's because people actually bred peonies not for gardening, but for peony shows, to show peonies. And so it was all about the bigger flower would win the show.
Yeah.
And it was the bigger, the fuller. They didn't care about if the peony flopped in the garden, but that was just the end result. The peonies, they just kept breeding them so big for the flower shows that when they introduced them to the garden, they all flopped over. So that's interesting fact. But now new hybridizers are actually taking that into consideration and looking for stems that are stiffer, like Old Faithful, or that it can hold that big flower on top of the bush without spilling over. So yeah, interesting fact.
Yes.
A lot of times I get the question, are peonies hardy?
Yeah.
Okay, look around right here.
Yeah.
This is a barren field. It used to be a hay field.
Yeah.
It gets no special attention. Just like in the homestead, they planted the peony, they enjoyed it, but no special attention.
No.
Some manure maybe every once in a while.
Yeah.
But after the parents moved off the land, the children moved off the land, years later you come back and the peony is still there.
Yeah.
So are peonies hardy? Yes.
Well, and a lot of the time they didn't have time when you're farming to go and take care of the garden as well, right? So it's like you survive, and there's a reason it's a staple in prairie gardens.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's maybe why so many people love peonies, is because they're hardy. Yeah. And you really don't have to do anything. You cut them, they're pretty much disease resistant. Yeah. Like, they have botrytis sometimes, but that can be managed. Yeah. Not too many pests associated with them. Deer don't eat them, rabbits don't eat them. They're just the perfect perennial.
They are just beautiful.
And what I love about them too is like the bloom period is short, but the whole lead up is exciting.
Oh.
As soon as you see those little red points coming out in the spring, I'm always just like, oh, okay, it's happening.
Yes.
You know, it's coming, the sun is coming, the summer's coming, and just watching the leaves unfurl and then the buds come and thicken up, and you know, you start to see that little bit of color, and then you're like, oh, is it today?
Yeah.
Is it today? Oh, is it tomorrow? You know, you're, like I say, I'm out there first thing in the morning in my pajamas with my cup of coffee. Is it today? Yeah. So,
Well, if I was out in the field with my pajamas, the neighbors might be thinking I'm crazy.
I wave at my neighbors in my pajamas.
But I can.
our neighbors expect it.
Oh my goodness. Adam, you have been so generous with your time with us today. Hasn't it been amazing, Jillian?
The education has been outstanding.
Yeah, and to top it off, being here in the amazing and beautiful peony field, we just feel really lucky to have met you today and had a chance to talk to you. So just thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
And I love your passion for this, and I just think it extends so much more. It's not even about the farming and the finances and all that. I love every story you've told me about your daughter's hair and continuing the stories.
And the naming of your hybrids and things like that. It's so inspiring, honestly. Yeah,
Well, thank you so much. Well, first of all, thank you for joining me in this field of peonies.
Yeah.
It's actually really interesting for me because yesterday I was in the field and there was people meandering about, and it was that point that I actually took a period for myself and said, wow, you're actually giving something back, and it's nice to see people in the field, because usually it's myself working, but to be able to share it with people like yourself and my customers, it's special actually, and it kind of, it's like you're doing something good.
You are doing something good. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So thank you so much, and don't be surprised if you see us again.
Well, as long as I don't see you with shovels.
Yeah, in the night.
Smelly.
Yeah.
We won't be quick.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye for now. More Twyla and Jillian coming soon. Thank you for watching.